All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Garage Gear. I'm JB. All right, so today we are looking at an engine swap. All right, ever wonder how it's done? It's really not that hard. All right, we have an old Tecumseh 8 horsepower engine. Not exactly so good in the running all the time department. All right, it's very sporadic. It'll kind of run good and then it won't. And then I've done everything to this thing. I've cleaned the carburetor. I've adjusted it as best I can. I've gone through all my steps. I've cleaned the spark plug. I've done it all, okay? And it just doesn't want to do it exactly right all the time. So when it gets to that point, it's time for some drastic measures. Here we go. We're talking about a 212cc Predator engine from Harbor Freight. These are great. I've done a couple of engine swaps with them. Really not that complicated. Let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's take a closer look at this engine. I got it out of the box. It's ready to go for us, okay? That's the big thing that I like about these engines. They're just ready to go right out of the box. I mean, you just got to put some gas, some oil in them. And I do a little quick break-in with them as well, but that's another story. But these are great little engines. The throttle on this is massive. I mean, that's a huge gap right there. That's great, okay? So plenty of play. Fuel shutoff is right there, all right, and your choke is right up on top, okay? Air filter, big gas tank, 212cc. This thing's ready to rip, all right? Let's flip it around. We have a 3/4 inch drive shaft on this, horizontal drive shaft, and what we're gonna do is we need to step it up to 1 inch. So what we're gonna do is slide an adapter over it, and that'll get us there. So that's coming in the mail, and boom, once we have it, we're gonna pop that on, take the other pulley, slide that on, get it ready to go. Another note that I'd like to bring up is sometimes people like to complain about these Predator engines, but you know what? I've had nothing but success with these things. I have one on an Edger that I've had for about 5 or 6 years now. It's a slightly smaller engine, but you know what? It runs just fine. It runs at least once a week, and that thing just works great. I mean, I have no complaints about it, and I've used it for the last 5 or 6 years. I've put one of these on another snowblower. Yeah, they're great. They're great engines. And when people say that they're horrible, no. My first question to them is, have you ever tried using one of those engines before? They run great. So they really are pretty well built Honda clone machines. Okay, so the next step, I took off the engine. Not much too complicated there. Getting the belt pulley off was a little tricky just because I had to remove the drive belt. So once I got that off, the engine came off no problem. The trickiest part was getting the pulley off of the engine. So I have that right here. That is this little guy, and this was rusted right on there. So a little hard to tell on camera, but it was seized right on. So what I ended up having to do, I tried using a pulley puller. I put a lot of force on it. It didn't come off. I tried using PB Blaster. Didn't come off. And then I let it soak overnight with PB Blaster, and it still didn't come off. So what I ended up doing was torching it for about 2 minutes, got it red hot, and then used cold water right after that and soaked it in cold water. So as soon as I heated it up, I soaked it real fast, and I took the pulley puller to it, and it cracked right off. So it's still in great shape, totally reusable. I had to get an adapter for it because the drive shaft on the new engine is 3/4. This one is 1 inch. So the new adapter is about 10 bucks on eBay, and we're gonna stick that in. We're gonna put a little anti-seize in there to prevent it from really seizing up again, and we'll be good to go. All right, the next. Okay, so check it out. So here is our new drive shaft that we're looking at. This again is 3/4, and here is our adapter. Our adapter is gonna go right over that. It fits nicely. I have some anti-seize, and I even have a new key hardware to stick in and hold it in place. One thing I ran into though is this does not slide so nicely into this slot here. I mean, it goes in, but it's gonna be a fight. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna take a file, and I'm just gonna kinda take a little bit off each edge, and it should slide in a little bit nicer into that slot. So that's our next step. Okay, so we got the key in the vise. We're just gonna start taking a little bit off of each side, and I have a square edge file here, and we're just gonna start taking a little bit off. I just checked it, I did a little bit. It almost fits, so it's not gonna need much more. This only took about a minute. This didn't take much at all. Next step is putting some anti-seize on here. This will make it easier to take off the adapter if we ever have to. This stuff is awesome. You can use this on brake parts, things like that. Love this stuff. Now we're going to test that to see if that's where it needs to be with the belt. So I'm going to take this off the workbench, put it on the snowblower, and see if it lines up right where it should. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this next step in our great adventure here of swapping out these engines is, this is now done. The pulley is back on. We have the adapter, the key, a few washers to extend it out. So that pushes this out a little bit to line it up with the belts. I put a bolt in here on this end to really hold it on. And I believe that was a 5/16 bolt, 2 inches long. So that holds it in tight. I also put one of those Allen keys in here to hold it in as well. So that is on. All right, I wiped off any excess anti-seize to get it off of there so that way it doesn't whip around and make a mess. So this is pretty much ready to go. The only issue is now, when we set this engine on here, this shield right here pretty much rests on this part of the snowblower. It's really close. It's almost touching this when it's flat on its base, but this is kind of in the way. So what I'm going to do is just take the grinder, just shave a little bit off the top, and that'll get us there. All right, so that's where the grinder comes in. And here's our next step. These engines come with just a little bit of oil in them from the factory. I don't believe there's enough to cover what is needed in there. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna drain out what oil is in here. We're gonna put fresh oil in. I'm gonna put 5W30. If you look at the charts in the manual, that is perfectly fine. I usually use 5W30 synthetic, and that works just fine in all the machines that I run. Also, other step that we're gonna throw in here, this is a drain tube, because when this sits on the snowblower, and I'll show this later in the video, if this were just to be right there on the snowblower, it would drain out onto the snowblower, down the side panel, possibly getting inside, causing a mess. So this is actually the best way to go. This will drain right off to the side, right into a pan, and you're all set. Okay, this is from Drains It. This is a 10 millimeter. It should fit right inside here. I did a lot of research to find out which one would fit this 212 cc engine. Should just twist right in, and we'll be ready to go. So as you can see, not much oil really at all inside these engines, just enough to kind of coat things. All right, and then that, my friends, should do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here we go. The engine is mounted back on, belts are back in line, gas is in the tank, oil's in the engine. We're gonna start it up, see how she does. Probably gonna take a couple pulls, see how she does. Choke is on. Gas is open, I can hear it flowing. Give it a rip. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Here's the engine all mounted up. Looks great on this thing, runs great on this thing. This thing is going to be a beast once I put an impeller kit on here as well. Again, this is about 6.5 horsepower, so this thing is going to throw the snow quite far. The only thing I don't like about this whole setup, now this could change in a couple of ways I guess, but I do not really like this big gap here. You maybe could get some snow in there. It's not the end of the world, but when you mount the engine on the original bolts, it does set the engine back a little bit. I could hypothetically move it up to these bolts. There's another bolt hole here and a bolt hole here, same thing on the other side, and that would probably get it closer. But these screws right here have a flat bottom underneath this engine panel, and there's no way you could hold it in place. They're on there. It's almost like they're welded like quickly, kinda. I could break them off, but then they're flat, and when I go to tighten these bolts down, they wouldn't stay in place. There's no flat head, there's no Phillips head, there's no bolt head, so tightening them down would actually become more of a chore. So I actually prefer to leave it as is. All right, some people may argue differently. I'm gonna leave it as is. We're gonna let it rip. But I'm guaranteeing that this thing is going to throw snow so far and so well. I think my friend will be more than happy with this thing. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you install a Harbor Freight engine, a Predator engine for $100. You can't go wrong.